Why don't we begin? As I indicated, Mark is going to be a little late, and John is indicated he was in a plane at this time, hopefully still flying.
Okay,
All right, Lynn, let's go.
let's get started. Okay.
Yeah, let's get started. And Lynn from Italy starts it off from Verona.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with administrative actions. We'll review the August 15th meeting minutes and ask for approval, as well as the monthly invoices. I'll give a quick budget update and review approval of internal change orders 1 through 3. And I'll ask Bond to give a quick construction update, and then we'll take a quick look at the schedule. First up are the meeting minutes of August 15th.
I will make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the Permanent Building School Committee for August 15th, 2024.
Bill?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there anyone who objects to the meeting minutes of August 15th, 2024, the Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee? Hearing no objections, they're approved.
Okay, so the invoices for the month total $3,047,859.54. That includes Left-Field's invoice for $145,000, SMMA's total invoice for $327,158.83. Our UTS testing materials invoice for $13,410.50, and bonds application for payment number 5 for $2,562,290.21.
All right.
I will make a motion that we approve. Let's see, under Left Field OPM Construction Administration invoice number 38 dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $145,000 even. Do I have a second?
Thank you, Tom. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
And that's unanimous.
All right, I will make an emotion that we approve SMMA invoice number 0061872 for AE Construction Administration dated September 3rd, 24 in the amount of $289,215. Also SMMA 0061872 AE Geotechnical Geoenvironmental from LGCI Geotechnical Consulting in the amount of $34,403.33.
Tim Baker.
Invoice number 0061873 from SMMA regarding the culvert extension, AE construction documents in the amount of $1,202 even. SMMA invoice number 0061873 for AE Construction Administration in the amount of $111 even, and invoice number 0061873 AE Wetlands for SMMA Rimmer Wetlands Culvert Extension Consulting Team dated September 3rd, 24th in the amount of $2,227.50. All SMMA totaling $327,000. $158.83 even.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip? He might be in transit there.
Transitioning.
And it's unanimous with one abstention.
All right, moving right along. Bond. I make a motion that we approve for bond invoice number AFP5 with multiple entries. First one being change management fee dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $54,162.27. Also under AFP5, insurances and bonds, also dated 8/31/24 for the amount of $85,216.97. AFP 5 Division 1 General Requirements, also dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $302,133.54. Also AFP 5 Division 3 for Concrete, dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $734,447.50. AFP 5 Division 7 Thermal and Moisture Protection, dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $65,530 even. AFP 5 Division 21 Fire Protection, also this would be dated 7/31/24 in the amount of $94,002.30. AFP 5 Division 26 Electrical, dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $105,930 even. AFP 5 Division 31 Site Work, dated 8/31/24 in the amount of $1,255,725 even. And finally, we have a credit, AFP 5 Retainage Withheld from Contractor, dated 8/31/24. Credit in the amount of $134,857.37 goes back into our funds, totaling $2,562,290.21 for this set of invoices. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, a quick question on fire protection. What does that cover?
Jerry? Or Dave, can you answer that?
My guess is, let me see here, my guess is, so the fire protection sub, the water line that feeds the fire protection sub in ground is through that line item. So I'm assuming that's what that is. Obviously, the building's not erected, so there's no sprinklers. So got to assume that's a main.
Quigley's made a deal with JCI Fire Protection to install that under their supervision. So JCI is paying Quigley to do the excavation and pipe work under their license, and they have somebody on site basically monitoring that installation. It's basically for the hydrant installation from the main lines, and then the line that goes into the building.
And we should note, just for clarity, because the way it was presented was a little bit misleading. The last item is not an invoice, it's retainage. It's not going back to the owner. That is
okay.
retainage.
Well, we hoped it would.
Someday we may be getting money back.
Temporarily being withheld.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
That's unanimous. Approved.
You want to hit the last one, Chip?
Sure. Is it UTS Materials?
You got it.
So I move that we approve UTS Materials Testing Inspection invoice 113281 for the sum of $13,410.50.
I second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yep.
Phil?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
It's unanimous. All right, Lynn?
Okay, thank you.
All right, we spent 3 million in 10 minutes. Good work.
So as of the end of August, our budget is 92% committed and we have expended 13%. And out of our construction budget, which has changed from this number of 220 million to 223,897,739. And that is us moving the money for the Hemlock Road alignment into the overall bond construction budget. with that, that is, we have not committed the additional money for the budget, so that much has, the 220 million has been committed. And out of the overall total project budget, we have a remaining uncommitted budget of 22,033,721.
There any questions or comments? Hearing none. Lynn?
So in terms of our cash flow, we are tracking just slightly above the projected total expenditures of, about $500,000. And a lot of this has to do with use of our GMP contingency for a few things that have come up, such as the gym floor. Any questions on the cash flow?
I asked this at a prior meeting. I'm going to ask again. So when we're above what we think, your communication with the town to figure out how we're funding that, right? Because like the town's got to come up with the money to pay as things happen, and there's this graph shows. How does that get reflected so the town knows that we're $500,000 above at this point?
Steve's not that tight, Phil.
Yeah,
They're not
plus
that tight.
we're getting monthly reimbursements from MSBA now. So as long as we're not drastically, like
Got it.
several million
Yeah,
over where we should be,
right.
we should be fine.
It's always sort of revolve. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
And also I want to tell you that each of these monthly projections includes the use of the owner's contingency prorated every month. So we're not spending that either. So it's there's some cushion in there.
Good.
All right, any other questions or comments?
I guess this is totally unrelated, but we don't want to be like Brockton by any means, do we?
Pardon?
What does that mean?
Well,
Brockton is like 14 million. This is the school budget.
That's just, no,
Yeah, we're on budget.
Wayne, that's the Brockton School Department. We're
I
not that.
understand that, but things go haywire at times, so we got to be careful.
It looks pretty close. It looks like we're only $500,000, and that was the variance is related to the gym floor, it said. So
Yeah,
I
but
think-
none of that has to do with that. That doesn't have anything to do with the budget. That's strictly
Just how
capital.
we're tracking based on where we
Yeah.
say we'd be. It has more to do with schedule than anything. And we are pushing the schedule right now. So tonight we have 3 what we call internal change orders. The reason we call them internal is because they're internal to the GMP. If you look at the bottom, it says total this change order $0. That's because we have covered it within a hold or allowance within the actual GMP. So we're making you aware of these expenditures of money that we had set aside by presenting this change order and asking for approval, but it is not changing the contract sum for construction. The first one is for $300,000, and it's for the supportive excavation at the existing school foundation along the culvert. And it's a drawdown of an allowance that we had for this purpose.
And what's our total allowance in this line? Do we know that?
I don't have-
This one was $300,000. So I believe that this one, when we were buying out Quigley, we thought we might potentially be able to do a more cost-effective form of SOE there. That did not materialize, so we spent the exact value that we had budgeted for it.
Okay, in the future, if you're presenting allowances or draws and there is a balance, or if we're using it all, that's fine. But would love to know, like, if we're taking a piece of it, what's left in the future. So I move that we approve change order number SOV-001 for the sum of $300,000.
I will second.
Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Aaron,
yes,
Chip.
Yes.
Okay, so that approved the internal change order number 1, resulting in 0 net charge.
Internal change order number 2, again, is a total of $0, but it includes, all of the various PCOs that we approved throughout the course of, when this came up. But it's for the various, components of demoing the floor, buying the material in 2 different, material buyouts, and then installing the floor. Again, you guys approved the PCOs as they were happening, but we're wrapping them all together and putting them in a internal change order.
And am I just missing it, Lynn, or is there not a total on this?
It's, only the total of the PCOs are indicated. This is a $0 change order because we have covered it in the GMP.
No, I
from
know that.
the
I'm just trying to
contingent.
do the math to see what the total was.
I think
Oh.
it's like
280,000.
280,000.
277, 369.
Yeah, something like that.
One person, what was it?
I think-
287?
I thought 277, 369, I think.
Right around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
It looks great. Good job getting that done.
Well, without a doubt.
I move that we approve SOV-002 PCO 3 for 48,419, PCO 4 for 48,500, PCO 5 for 48,500, and PCO 7 for 131,950. Total sub change of this change order is still 0 net change.
I second.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Aaron,
yes,
Chip,
Yes.
it's unanimous.
And the last one is change order 3, and it is for $116,895. And this is for the sub-base material for the softball field restoration. And Bond is covering this out of their GMP contingency.
So I move that we approve change order PCO-009 for the sum of 116,895.
I will second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Wayne,
yes,
Aaron,
yes,
Chip,
Yes.
it's unanimous.
So I would ask the same question I did last time. What do we have left? And I know there'll be plenty, but as we go through this whole process, what do we have left in this change, in this
GMP contingency.
GMP contingency?
I think I have a.
I know it's a ton. This is the first that we're also late. I've already stated what you're showing me on the program, whoever's doing the slides.
It looks like GMP contingency is about 4.8 million.
Okay, so for next meeting, when we do this, not kind of looks like, let's have real numbers available right at the offset. Thanks.
All right, any other questions, or comments? All right,
I'm
Lynn?
here. I'm here now, so just
Oh, hi, Mark.
say hi.
Hey, Mark.
You missed the votes, Mark.
So I'll turn over the construction progress to.
Floor does look great. This is
to
unbelievable.
Jerry.
It's awesome.
All right, but before we do, I'd just like to add something before we get into the construction progress. Subsequent to our last meeting, some of the members of the working group are aware of this. But on August 21st, Bond, through their team at the high school, with Stephanie and Jerry and the group, they were able to donate the 8 light poles from the upper lot to a nonprofit organization that delivers high quality and dignified healthcare solutions to low resource settings throughout the world. They were able to send to reuse the light poles at the Maternal Center of Excellence project in Sierra Leone. It's a premier training center for maternal health care providers across Sierra Leone and Africa. It's a facility built for women, but is also a facility by women, with 90% of the workforce being women, thereby giving historically disadvantaged population an opportunity for self-sufficiency. I cannot be more proud to be associated with this project when things like this occur. And I wanted to publicly say how much that is appreciated. And I also hope that we may be able to duplicate this action down the road during this entire project.
Great job. Awesome.
So with that now, Jerry, I give you all the good things. Go ahead.
We can certainly look for future opportunities when we're doing some of the stuff with the future demolition later in 2027. There's not much coming out until that.
Right. I know that, but I wanted everybody to understand how really, really proud I am of those actions. You guys are great. And I notified your boss of that as well.
We all kind of took part in it, but I have to give kudos to Stephanie. This is definitely led by her efforts from the beginning. So, how do you want me to just speak to the photos? Do you want me to do the
do whatever you want, Jerry? You know, we now praise you. You can do anything now. Just don't think it's going to happen often. All right.
You can speak to the photos and then we'll nab you on schedule.
All right, great. I mean, the first photo there was the completed gym floor. I think most of you have probably seen that, but we were able to successfully complete that for the opening of school. Roberts was actually there the first day of school that evening, kind of just doing the little patches on the polyurethane edges of what had kind of gotten nicked during the removal, but definitely a success to get it open for school getting started. So proud of the effort there too. So if you want to just flip to the next one there. So this is down in D building, where after the culvert had been removed, the existing culvert. So Keller, we did get them back to do the remaining scope of their work. They're now completed. All the rammed aggregate piers for phase 1 have been completed, including the ones that support the retaining wall on the east side. So everything throughout the building and the retaining wall is completed, as well as in area 4. So this one is taken kind of looking north from the Hemlock side. We've completed a lot of the B building foundations, probably about 65% completed at that point. A lot of the foundation drain going in, but this has all since been 100% backfilled so that we can actually start using the new access road and close the original gate from the Hemlock side. So flipping over to the next. This is the duck bank construction on the east side of the site. So continuing what we did get done on Hemlock Road, this is now going south to north across the site. We've got all the manholes within the site done. So the next stop for those pipes is basically to hit the transformer pad at the north end of the site. So just been working with Gas and Light to get inspections on that and get that completed. Flip into this one. So this is the upper lot retaining wall construction. So the lower photo here showing the major center pour of this, which was 130 yards that we completed yesterday. There was a little bit of a setback. I think, as most of you know, we had some ledge on the north side of this, which is in the upper photo. the bottom right-hand corner of that, but we did get the ledge removed, and then since ran into some extended organics that had to be removed, so we put some lean concrete for support to replace that. And that is since been backfilled as of today, and we're starting to move forward on the footing construction for the north side tomorrow. So hopefully we have about a week and a half left up there for the wall, and then we can forge ahead with the remaining construction of that lot. So softball field, we did get, this is 100% complete now, the dugout reconstruction. We are gonna bring the painter in next week to actually just repaint it, since it was kind of laying in the grass there for a little bit, so we'll get that cleaned up. But Quigley has since started to do the sub layers in the field. We've got a lot of the stone out in the outfield completed. Did start today on laying out the Marathi in the infield and starting the first of 3 layers there as well. So probably early to middle of next week, that's 100% ready for Emmanuel to get started there on placing the finished layers and starting the irrigation as well as the fencing. So but just to hit some of the highlights, I guess, on the rest of it, like I said,
Real
with the upper
quickly,
lot,
Gary. Real
Yep.
quickly, one quick question. Have we seen a plan for the irrigation?
yes. Yeah,
Can
there's
somebody circulate that at some point, or where is it?
it's a formal submittal, but we could certainly share it with you if you need to.
That would be great.
It's basically a main that goes down the first baseline that feeds some heads in the infield, and then everything is zoned through the outfield from the first base side. We have the new service that's going to be inside of a fenced enclosure, and the time clock will actually be inside of that fenced enclosure as well.
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is I just want to make sure that there's the proper zoning so that the infield can get watered or sprinkled during a game solely, and that it's zoned that way. That's my concern.
So they do
Because
have that,
what
but
happened-
we can definitely share it with you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that that's the case.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, no worries. So back to just, I'm just gonna hit the areas quickly, but the remaining foundations and wall for the upper lot, that'll get completed over the next week and a half, and then little bit of cure time there, but we're gonna start crushing all the rock that we've removed and start to augment the materials to prep for backfill next week. And then the plan is basically sometime during the week of 9/30, we start to do the mass backfill of the wall, and then start to get into some of the remaining utilities up there, just basically drainage and site electrical. We're targeting a binder date of around 10/15, kind of followed by getting the curbing, light pole bases, and what do we got? Tree boxes. There's trees that got to get planted, and a few other items just to get up to finish. But we're still targeting the November 1 date to try to get that lot turned back over to the school for parking with that 122 spaces up there.
Are we planning on planting trees this fall?
I mean, we're working with Emmanuel to get things submitted and hopefully get some trees dug. If it doesn't happen, we can certainly get them in the next planting season, but we were hopeful to get that stuff done just so that we don't have to interrupt the usage of the lot after it is turned over. On the building foundations, A building is completed, has been completed. We've been focusing on buildings B and C as the critical path, but we've also made some strides down in the D building area. We've got the wall up against the culvert under construction at this point, the perimeter wall. We've even turned the corner down at the end, heading towards F, and some of the remaining perimeter in F is also still under construction. So I would say all in all, in terms of what's poured out to date for foundations, we're probably in the 55 to 60% range for being complete. We're targeting to finish building B towards the end of next week, probably a little bit into the following week to kind of get it 100%. And then, focus on getting everything backfilled for that area before we start to do steel erection in A. We want to be basically focused in C and D by the time steel erection does get started. So we have had a few meetings with Norgate and Stellar over the last couple of weeks. We're pushing to get them on site by 10:15. We're certainly going to be ready for them. I think Norgate is pushing more towards first delivery of 10:21, but we're still targeting trying to get that earlier week. So culvert softball field area. So like I said, dugout's complete. We're working on the subgrade layers there. Emmanuel is actually due to start on site tomorrow with manpower and equipment. So that'll be first to do the Walsh Field restoration and start to get into some of the wetland soils and plantings, followed by then getting into the irrigation and placement of loam and infield mix. So they'll be on site over the next few weeks to get all that stuff completed, leading up to getting everything sodded and completing the fence there. So then with the utilities, we are still working with water to get the main water service at the north end tested and turned over. That's been underway for about a week so far. As you saw in the photos, we're working through the duck bank sections, getting south to north across the site there. We have some paving restoration that'll happen over the next couple of weeks with the work in Farm and Hemlock, as well as on Wiley once all this water line work is 100%. And then the last part of utilities inside the site is just the remaining gravity sewer stuff coming across the east side of the site, which we're trying to complete before steel starts. And then it'll be plugging in the inverts into the building, whether it's domestic and fire, and then kitchen waste down at the north end, as well as sanitary over in A. So definitely making some strides there with Quigley to get all that stuff completed. And like I said, we'll get Emmanuel on site starting tomorrow. And I think I've already kind of alluded with Marshall. They're about 55 to 60% complete with foundations, and it's certainly got a gang of people there. So we're pushing to get a lot of this stuff, poured out and completed before the snow flies. So I think that is, I guess I could talk to on the MEP front. Amonte and Griffin are both on site at this point. Griffin's been working with us on the duck banks. They're also working on the temp service. And Amonte, we have now on site. They're a new player as of last week. We're going to get them going on some of the underground acid waste and sanitary in Building A before the steel starts as well. Just solely because that stuff is a bit deeper than the rest, and we want to use larger machines to get it done before the steel goes up. But that's about it.
Great. Is there any questions or comments regarding the presentation by Jerry?
Jerry, does Quigley dig for the undergrounds?
Yes.
They coordinate with the MEPs?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, so just to talk about a few upcoming dates, we have the PBC construction tour on October 3rd at 5 o'clock, I
Right.
believe. And the neighborhood meeting on October 10th. And then our next permanent building committee meeting will be on October 17th.
And the neighborhood meeting, we're going to be able to use the theater there, as far as we know.
I
I know
think,
there was a question.
Tim, you had been.
I still have to confirm with Tim O'Brien. We're either there or we're in the cafeteria.
Okay. Just let them know. All right?
And I don't know if we want to talk about the town day.
Well, I'll very quickly, Tom Galvin has volunteered to be there all day. And Wayne has volunteered to be there between 1 and 2:30. And we appreciate greatly your two being and doing that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And Tim's gonna pick up Tim Baker, you're gonna pick up the blow-ups from SMMA?
Yes, I'm gonna grab him tomorrow and then I'll coordinate with Tom where he wants him.
Okay, is that good, Tom? All right.
Yep.
Tim,
Perfect.
do you have the easels and all that stuff? Grab them
I
from
do not.
Craig, please.
Craig has him? Okay.
Yeah.
And the other question I have on the schedule, and is there something significant regarding the November 14th, or is there just two dates because we haven't changed it yet?
No, we're gonna meet twice that night, because I mean,
Well, I
we
didn't know if there was something that I'm missing, which is always an option.
Wouldn't be even if we didn't stick another November 14th.
There we go. Okay.
that's right, because otherwise it would be
You could
off.
always put May in though, and then it would be, well, even. So
Right, right.
it's a different year, I guess. Yeah.
All right,
All right.
December
else?
11th is a Wednesday. That's all.
Okay.
December 11th
I'll
is a
change that.
Wednesday. Aha.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll
that
check
needs to get moved to the
to the
12th, right?
12th. Yep,
Yes.
Whoever's in charge of that calendar needs to look at it before the next meeting.
does anybody have
Assuming that's
anything else?
Mr. Baker.
That's me. Yep.
Yep. Tim, make a note. Get it squared away, please.
Yep.
You're confusing everybody.
All right, that's all I have for tonight.
All right, so does anybody have anything else?
So all the tours will be the first Thursday of every month?
Correct,
Yes.
that it?
Yes.
All right, everybody, take care. Lynn, have a safe trip.
Great meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, take care.
Bye.
everybody. Good night.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Trevor.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.